Hello fellow YouTubers and welcome to my series of Bloody Submarines. And today on Bloody Submarines we're looking at the U-69, possibly the most amusing name I have seen so far, although of course the breast exists, right? Anyway, moving swiftly on. How would I equip my Tier 6 German submarine? Okay, so in slot 1 I have gone with Main Arms Modification 1 to look after the torpedo tubes. Slot 2, Damage Control System Modification 3, because fires are a thing, flooding is a thing, and this reduces them. If I had the coal, I would probably take Reserve Battery Unit Modification 1 without reservation, because that increases the already reasonable 30 seconds of extra dive time to 36 seconds, okay? 20% buff to the amount of time you can spend on the water when your dive capacity runs out. That's what we use the reserve battery units for anyway. More of that in the match, but you get the general idea. Third pick, I would go with Torpedo Tubes Modification 1 because she is essentially a torpedo boat. She's a submarine. She's a torpedo boat that can submerge, okay? So torpedo speed buff there of 5%. Torpedo tube traverse speed of 20% and a reduction in the chances of your torpedo tubes being incapacitated. And then finally, of course, submarine steering gears, an absolute amazing pick that reduces your rudder shift time by 50% and your diving plane shift time by 50%. What's this mean? Well, it means you get a rudder shift of 2.6 seconds, which is pretty flippin' stupid, really. But there we go. And a turn circle is 370 meters and your surface speed is 28.4 knots. So that's the equipment covered, and that's the maneuverability of this sub covered. You can also do around 28.4 knots at periscope depth. But once you're under the water, fully submerged, your fully submerged speed is 13.6 knots. Not very quick at all. And your diving plane shift time is 6.2 seconds, and your maximum dive and ascent is 2.7 meters a second. Your concealment is very good. It's up there with Japanese stealth torpedo boats. You have a detectability range by sea of 5.7 kilometers, which is very competitive indeed. There's only a few boats that match that or beat it in the game. Okay, so that's concealment covered. Okay, we look at the torpedoes. You get 4 on the nose. You've got 4 loaders, okay, which means they all reload at the same time, all 4 tubes. Very nice to have. And they have a maximum range of 11.5 kilometers, and they do kind of Jaeger levels of damage, 7,533 to be precise. Speed is 77 knots with this build on those torpedoes, and the detectability range is 1.9 kilometers. Maximum damage threshold is from 3 kilometers. If you fire these at less than 3 kilometers, you will not get the maximum damage out of them. They have nerfed torpedoes hard to stop people shotgunning enemy ships with them. So you will still do damage, but it will be at a greatly reduced rate. Okay, so launch from 4 or between 4 and 3. Don't go to 3 kilometers or less to launch. Or, if they're low health, do it anyway. Whatever floats your boat, as it were. Now, you do have a stern torpedo tube, which has exactly the same torpedo type, but it can only launch 1 torpedo at a time. Okay, so, but don't forget you've got it, is all I'm going to say on that one. Sonar. It has a reload time of 6.5 seconds. Duration of a ping effect is 25 seconds. Okay, duration of a double ping on the same location of a ship is 50 seconds. Very nice indeed. The ping velocity is 500 meters a second. The width of the ping is 15 meters. And the range, again, 11.5 kilometers. You do have a deck gun. It counts as a secondary battery. You don't get to fire it. Boo hiss. It's an 88 millimeter. Secondary beam cannon, which does 2k damage a pop every 4 seconds if it hits. It has a armor pen of 25 millimeters and an initial velocity on the shell of 890 meters a second. You also have 12,100 hit points. Okay, let's move on. Okay, I would spend my first point on Liquidator, then my second set of points on improved battery capacity. Or you could pick in torpedo crew training, because this brings your torpedo reload down to around 42 seconds. Quite nasty, really, if you ask me, so quite a good skill. It's between these two for me. Okay, although this one is a reasonable pick too. I think it gets an honorable mention. Okay, but for me, it's either this bad boy or this bad boy, and then after that, watchful. This one. So 1, 2, and watchful 3. Okay, then after watchful, I would take consumable specialist, and after consumable specialist, superintendent, and then after superintendent, big enlarged propeller shaft. I was going to say big prop, but enlarged propeller shaft. And then adrenaline rush. Okay, and then my last point I would spend on helmsman, and that would be my 21 points. Okay, right, let's take it through. Right, we're on the map Trident. It's a standard battle. It's a tier 7 battle, and I'm in a tier 6 submarine. So the matchmaker's been relatively kind. It's a carrier match, so we've got CVs to think about. I have a Scharnhorst with me and a Nicholas. In the middle of the map we've got the Sinop, the Algier and the Colorado. And they're all backed up by an Akatsuki, who'll probably be hopefully doing the spotting.
Diese starke Panzerung beschützt alle Kapitäne, die artig waren.
Honestly, I say that all the time to my wife. Every time. I haven't a clue what he said. Any German speakers here, could you please translate? Thank you. Let's have a look. Cavor, Leander, Nicholas, and Undine on the very far flank there on the mini-map. Okay. Don't really need to know that. Okay.
Requesting support.
So what I'm going to try and do is work with the Nicholas if it'll let me. Torpedo bombers going mid. Keep half an eye on them. It's always a good idea to keep an eye on the planes. If you get lit, you're in a lot of trouble. These things are all about stealth. Yeah, I was a bit premature on the hydrophone there. By the way, the hydrophone on this sub has a range of 7 kilometers. Reveals ship positions on the minimap for 6 seconds and has a consumable action time of 1 second. Yeah. We do get another one in 36 seconds though, so there's that. And unlike some submarines, the German submarines, for the most part, get unlimited hydrophone. There's no charges for the consumable, which is nice. As you can see, submarine surveillance still has a couple of minutes to go before it comes off cooldown. Well, more like 3 actually. Okay. There's a Shores over there. I don't know where the enemy destroyer is yet. I was a bit premature on the hydrophone. I should have gone a little bit further. I'm going to put her at periscope depth because I'm being a little bit paranoid about that enemy destroyer. There's the Nicholas and there's the Mistral on the minimap. Okay, so they're not near our position.
Fire on the enemy warship.
Okay, well this is a good opportunity to show you guys that basically she can do a considerable speed at periscope depth. We're just going to move around the side of the island. I would say this is probably the first real submarine you'll use. The U-69 is still very strong. Still a strong submarine. Okay, so we have a Mayhan up front. That's the destroyer I was worried about, the Mayhan. Okay, and what have we got? The submarine on my mini-map just got spotted at E2. So, he's flanking. The enemy submarine is flanking. This is pretty precarious because I can be spotted
dead ahead.
by the Mayhan and I can also be spotted by the U-69. Just going to avoid those. Scharnhorst going backwards. just within torpedo range, but the Sinop is blocking my shot. What are teammates for, eh? Mahan is moving away, that's good to know. Okay, so he's not going to be much of a problem.
Direct front.
I'm going to launch a spread of torpedoes there because I'm going to assume he's speed juking. Meanwhile, the enemy submarine is close by. He's still at E2.
Torpedoes to port.
I'm going to try and drop a ping on the Scharnhorst.
Torpedoes direct front.
I missed with that, didn't I? Hilarious. Okay, well, he is going backwards. Okay, so he's tethered for 24 seconds. I don't think the torpedoes are going to be able to turn rapidly enough to hit him. So we're just going to ping him again.
Torpedoes direct front.
Yeah, plenty of range on those. And let him have it with one of the rears. The only rear, actually. Single torpedo launcher on the back. Okay, now, the Nicholas is heading towards the enemy submarine position. Just going to ping the Scharnhorst again.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Okay, we've got him tethered. That's good. And
Torpedoes
I'm
to starboard.
using my submarine surveillance
we've
to
been
spot
detected.
the U-69, who went straight to the surface.
we've been
So
detected.
I went to the surface to relight it, and now I'm diving because I'm going to attract a fair amount of attention doing that. And he's got his submarine surveillance on as well. Okay. Torps look good, but he slammed on the brakes. And they missed. Rudder shift these days on submarines is really ridiculous. I've taken a little bit of damage from enemy depth charges.
Concentrate fire on the target.
And I had to use a repair to get rid of the oil slick because I don't really want to give away my position to the Nagato or the Revolutia. The Revolutia and
Teammate, I need your support.
the Nagato are both on this flank, which is a bit of a problem. There's also torpedo bombers heading my
Torpedoes
way.
astern.
A lot to think about in a submarine. There's always a lot to think about. When things get complicated, they get complicated fast. We're just going to dive to avoid the torpedo bombers. We don't want to get lit by them. And I don't want to give away too much on the mini-map to the enemy team. I want them to think that I'm roughly where the Scharnhorst was and contemplating my life
Concentrate
choices.
fire on the enemy warship.
Okay, we're going to surface here and recharge our batteries. You can see the battery timer is at 149, 150, 151. And now I would very much like to have a crack at either the Nagato or the Revolutia. Nagato looks like the obvious target. Now, at this range, it's not dangerous to ping, I don't think. We are going to attract planes, but look at the turning circle on this submarine. Yeah, Nagato, what's his range on his airstrike? Okay, I'm in range, 10 kilometer. Okay, that's scary. Here come his planes. I'm going to turn into him in the last second turn away. Okay. And right on the nose with 4 torps. Because he's pretty much a stationary target. He's not moving much at all, really. I'll continue pinging him whilst keeping an eye on the Revolutia, who's at 6.5 kilometers from my position now. So we're getting planes from both battleships. So that's something to bear in mind. Okay, I've gone to periscope depth because I don't want to get detected by the Revolucia. And I'm firing a rear torpedo towards the Nagato. We managed to avoid my last spread of 4, even though I had him double locked on. I see what he did. Okay, he's speeded up, he's moving now. Meanwhile, the Russian battleship continues to close on our position. And we missed with that torpedo, okay. Now, of course, they're very interested in pushing this flank and getting to the cap, because this is all about whoever caps first wins. So, I'm going to give them something to worry about. I don't really want them pushing the cap too hard, so I want them to focus on me. Come with planes. Just going to turn.
Commander, we've been detected.
Yes, I'm here, right here. Come and get me. Then I'm going to appear to turn away. They might actually hit me with those. I probably should have gone to periscope depth. Yeah.
We've sprung a leak.
Okay.
We're filling up fast.
But that's good. They can
Fire.
see me heading up the mini-map. This is mind games, okay?
Problem solved, sir.
Well, what I'm doing here is making them think that I'm heading north. How are we doing for air? Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm going to go to periscope depth and use my hydrophone because I want to know where that Russian battleship is. Because I'm thinking about switching back.
All stations, protect that target. All
He's fair
stations,
game.
provide fire support.
Okay, this is where we stop pinging because I don't really want the enemy fleet to know where I am anymore. I want them to think I'm running. The Nagato thinks I'm running, so he's heading for the cap. He's going to keep half an eye out for me, no doubt. And I think we can do a full attack run on the Revolucia. So let's do that. Yeah. Okay, we got a good hit at that flood. Now, we're not quite at 3 kilometers, so if these hit, they're going to hurt. Okay, now we go to... well, not maximum depth, put the next one down. Because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put the reserve on, and I'm going to sail underneath him. You can see he's coming up. We managed to clip him with one of those torpedoes. And he's turned in. So what we'll do now is just keep an eye on his position using our hydrophone. And go silent, go deep, right? So we're running silent. Not really. Chuk, 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 chuk. But you get the idea. Okay, we have 1 minute and 18 seconds left on the battery before we have to surface and recharge. This is where things get a little tense. Yeah, he's turned. And he's heading for that island. We can use that to our advantage. You see the island at E2. We're going to use that to shadow him and then ditch. So we're going to shadow and ditch.
Battery.
I'm going to go a little bit longer. I'm probably going to deplete the battery, to be honest with you, because I want him to be well behind that island before we go to the surface. Not a bad match. 8 torpedo hits for doing sweet FA, really. Okay, we're going to go to periscope depth and just have a little look, because I want to know where he is. He's not going to be within spot. No, he's at 4.2 kilometers and he's just heading around the island. I have 10 seconds left. This is going to be tight. This is tighter than I thought it was going to be honest. They're quite slow, aren't they, those tier 5 battleships? Okay.
Battery depleted.
And now we can recharge and stay dark. So what I'm going to do is move to the opposite point as far away from him as possible and run. And while I'm on the surface, recharge my batteries. Okay. 24.2 kilometer speed, okay. Good to know. We can outrun him on the surface, that's the thing. So even if he chases us down, we can run. So no problems in that regard. The Nagato is continuing to the cap, but I think the Revolucia wants me. He's coming for me. Of course. But you can see we're 8.3 kilometers away. We've got 30 seconds of underwater fun. But I'm just going to sit around this range, just throwing torpedoes at him. Ping him so he now knows where we are. We're over here. Chase me, chase me. He sends planes, okay.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
Okay. And didn't go to the torpedoes. Wallop. 4 good hits. And we incapacitated his prop. So his engine is busted. The engine is kaput. I don't do that as well as that special German captain, but there we have it. Kaput engine. Okay. I've got his attention now. He's moving away from the cap. Meanwhile, the Nicholas is capping. The Akatsuki is nearby, and their Rujo is chasing the destroyer on the cap. Some pretty desperate stuff from Team Red here. Gato to Gato Cabo. But I'm much more interested in what this Russian battleship is doing. If the Nicholas wins the fight against the CV, this is over.
Our team has taken the lead.
The CV got himself into a destroyer sandwich between the Nicholas and the Akatsuki. Not a nice place to be. Not a nice place to be. Okay. Right, he's turning away, and the Colorado got him. What a shame. I was going to turn around and let him have another 4 torpedoes, but the Colorado engaged and destroyed him. But there you go. So that's the U-69, and with very little effort whatsoever, I managed to get into the top 20% of players. It wasn't hard. Actually quite boring, but there were some exciting moments. There were some moments where things got a little too exciting. So 49,000 on the Revolucia, okay, 41,000 with torpedoes, 8,000 from floodings, and that's where you're going to get most of your damage from with this ship. 16k on the Nagato and 5k on the Shan, or 72k total, 62,000 with the torpedoes, 9.5k flooding. Okay, and we had the 40% booster on, and we made what, 250,000 credits for very little risk. So easy street. Okay, well, this has been the U-69 in bloody submarines. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you all for watching. Thank you.